There is something that does not make sense about Hulk Hogan's death.
And what they are now calling a death investigation.
And what we were told was he stopped breathing. And what it seemed like it was a heart attack.
Right.
So, end of story, right? A little time passes, Brooke Hogan starts raising questions.
And everybody else relied on him for a paycheck. And now that golden goose is gone. So I don't know if I'm their emotional, guilty punching bag, or if they are afraid of what I know, because I know a lot that I don't talk about. I know a lot.
And then we found out that the phrenic nerve, and that we know this because there was an occupational therapist who was at Hulk's house. Hulk was sitting in a chair when he stopped breathing. There was an occupational therapist there at the time. He told the police that the reason he died was that Hulk had had a recent operation and they accidentally severed the phrenic nerve, which is connected to the diaphragm,
Basically,
which controls breathing.
Right, it's connected from your brain to your diaphragm. It's how you breathe. And if that's damaged, obviously, you know what could happen. It now makes sense why Brooke said, now that we know it's in this police report, that's where we found out about this phrenic nerve, and the occupational therapist who said this. But remember, a couple of days ago, Brooke posted something where she said, there's information that will change the narrative around my father's death. And we kept going, narrative? Because there's no narrative. Like, he had a heart attack.
You heard through your source that Jimmy Hart said what?
Hogan's not doing well. He can't speak. His trach or whatever was damaged, and he's having problems, and it does not look good.
And the security guard said the measures that they went to make sure nobody saw him transported in an ambulance to his home was like Michael Jackson type stuff. My source says allegedly it was all done through like the loading docks with unmarked ambulances, followed by an escort, then followed by backed up to the house with the garage door open. That happened in the middle of the night.
Why isn't there an investigation?
Well, now there is an investigation, but there wasn't an autopsy. It turns out.
How is that not part of the investigation?
I know.
My point.
Now, his wife, Sky, did do an autopsy, we're told.
She independently.
Here's the thing. If Sky doesn't release the autopsy reports, I think that screams of what potentially I've been saying. If she does release the toxology reports, then I'm probably off and it's not the way it went down. Like, I'm wrong. So, I mean, I don't know that first of all, I just got a text from somebody that said Scientologists don't believe in mental health issues. So they could see where if it was Hogan offed himself either directly or indirectly, that they may not want that out due to the fact that she's probably jumping right back into Scientology. But that information only really hurts one person, and that might be the doctor that overly prescribed him. And he may still be in the clear because he may have prescribed, one as needed, and Hogan took 6. So I think there's still a lot of stuff to figure out, but I think we're kind of slowly honing in on there's something they don't want us to know.
I spoke to somebody who was in a position to know this and talked to Hulk about it. And they talked about the opioid issue and how he wanted to kick it, after various surgeries. And so why wasn't there an autopsy? And the bigger question, why are we not getting any calls back? From multiple, how many times did you call the police yesterday?
Oh, man, at least a dozen, maybe, roughly, somewhere around there.
Just with his dating life, I mean, after Jen, he dated a couple people, and, Sky was always super nice to me, but he was expressing some concerns, in that area, just with, how they got along and stuff. And I told him, I was like, hey, if you need to end it, I said, I'll be your fall guy. Just say that I don't like her. Say, whatever, I'm on your side. I'm on your team. Whatever you need from me, I got you. And then out of nowhere, it was like he did a 180 and started working with the person he just said screwed him over, and he said, I'm not getting married again. And then literally 2 weeks later he got married. It was just a really weird turn of events.
And we had talked multiple times. One time Steve was in the car, me and Steve and my dad were in the car, and he was saying a few unsavory things about Sky, and me and Steve were kind of like, Dad, that's kind of, not nice. Like, I think they had broken up once before and then they got back together. And he was kind of telling me, there was a worry in his voice. And he was like, I just don't know. Like, I don't, I'm not sure about this. And I said, well, why don't you just end it? My dad was confiding in me before he married Sky. Now, and this is the thing, is the estrangement is a boundary, right? So I didn't like certain people that he was around. It wasn't Sky, it was a number of people that I did not trust, that I had seen behavior in. And I said, Dad, flashing yellow signs like, hey, this is messed up. Like, are you gonna do anything about it? And my dad was never alone. He was always with someone. And most of those people I did not like, and I did not get good energy from, and I didn't want to be around. Just to show you, I'm not in it for the money. I don't care. Like, I'm more concerned about you. The biggest reason, though, why I asked to be off of the will was because I know my family, and I know if Sky, who, from what I know, allegedly is still in good standings with Scientology, after my dad passes, and she still has her Scientologist family and Scientology backing, I don't want to fight that. If Scientology were a thing, which I don't think Sky would present a problem if she were like a full-blown Scientologist, but I just know how my family is, and I've seen how certain members of my family go after money.
But if she was a Scientologist, I know that that's a very powerful backing. And I don't want to fight Linda. I don't want to fight Scientology. I don't want somebody that I love to get knocked off. I don't know how deep this stuff goes. Like, it scared me. And I just said, I want out.